All right, it is time for the main topic of the show. It's how to avoid scams. A lot of new people coming into this hobby may fall victim to stuff like this, so we just wanted to do kind of a public service announcement on some of the main 5 scams. And I know there's probably more that got left off of here, but these are some of the ones that I wanted to go over just to educate you guys. And you can maybe possibly pass this along to people that you know, maybe your friends that are getting in the hobby, to stay away from stuff like this. Because when there's money going through the hobby, there is more evil people that are trying to make a quick buck by doing shady, dirty, scammy things. And that's what's happening. You see it, and you see people that are falling victim of it because they're green. They think everybody in the hobby is kind and everybody's friendly, and they just want to give cards to people that want to collect that team. But there's always a shady underbelly of these guys that are selling because you're dealing with money. And I'm sure it happens in the sneaker market. I'm sure it happens in these other collectible markets as well. But my first topic, I wanted to mention hot packs. That's a big red flag. You see these hot packs on eBay from these sellers. Do not buy these. These are 99.9% of the time searched. So you can see in the first one that this guy is guaranteeing a number to 50 out of a top Series 2 hanger pack. For one, he doesn't have x-ray vision. He didn't make it himself. It's not top selling this. He doesn't know that there's a number to 50 unless he packs it himself and reseals it. So what he does is he finds one of the cheapest number to 50 cards, puts it in the pack, and then doubles his price and sells it to somebody. And then somebody's like, oh, cool, I got a number to 50 just as promised. Well, no, he just doubled his money off you. So you're also seeing stuff like guaranteed patch or relic. Now this could be fingered at the target and somebody pack filling it up. Are you condoning that kind of action if you're buying this from this guy? I don't think so. So don't buy any hot packs. You also have this one that's been floating on eBay. I think we even did it on the last scammer thing. It's a 2009 Topps Allen and Ginter, and you're guaranteed a hair relic, which George Washington's on the checklist. There's no way that the hair relics are like 1 in like 500,000 packs. There's no way this person knows there's a hair relic in there without knowing which hair relic it is. So what he did is he bought like a $100 one off of eBay, which there was some recent sales. He packed it back up. He's selling it for $300. So he just took his $100 and he's going to make $300 on somebody that's like, cool, I got a hair relic of, I don't know, Steve-O. It's cool. I got a Steve-O hair relic. Well, you just got screwed. And then these ones, unlike people that are doing buybacks, that are doing it the right way, there's people that do mystery packs, and they show off a few cards. They show off like this gentleman. And I'm not saying this one's shady, but I'm just saying buyer beware. He's showing some Lamar Jackson Crusade rookies and some Saquons as the chase. How do we know that he just didn't ship one off to his buddy that has the main card, and for $12.99, you got a $4 card? There's no transparency. They're not numbered. He doesn't random them. When we do our buybacks, we film Dan numbering the boxes. We do them all up front. There's only 25 cases made, and we random them every time for transparency. So there's no way for us to know what's coming out of each case because it's done that way. These people on eBay are probably not doing that. What's to stop him from somebody that buys 100 of them? He gives them a chase card, and then you get the $4 card. So any input on any of these hot packs?
Well, I'm just going to reiterate what you were saying, because when you're showing those hot packs, I think people need to understand that they probably don't understand what you're saying. You're like, it's a hot pack. How is he? What's he doing? Like, the pack doesn't look like it's open. Well, what they're doing is that they're opening the pack very carefully, and then they're putting the guaranteed card in there, and then they're resealing the pack. They're either gluing it or doing something. So when you get it, it's probably gonna be really tough to open. Most of the time, it's probably gonna be harder adhesive than they actually used, especially on that Allen and Ginter. Allen and Ginter packs kind of disintegrate on contact. So, but what they're doing is that they're actually opening up the packs, inserting the guaranteed card that's in there, which I can guarantee you is not going to be more than what the pack is worth 100% of the time. And then they're just selling.
Right.
So they are truly opening up and resealing the packs.
Yeah, there's no way around that. So, yeah, and that's what they mean by a hot pack, is that you could go to Target and buy 300 packs and never get a number to 50 card. This person is guaranteeing you a number to 50 card. And there's a lot. And surprisingly, these guys have great feedback. And it amazes me. And that just shows you that there's a lot of just new customers that they're like, well, I got my number to 50. Very cool. That's awesome. and they're moving on. Well, this guy probably opened up all these packs, took all the good stuff out, and then he's trying to recop some of his money here. So moving on to the next category is scammers selling cards and how to avoid them and what you should do to prevent yourself from getting scammed by somebody. There's a lot of Facebook groups out there. There's a lot of forums where people are selling cards. John P. in Missouri, he's got a Mahomes card and he's selling it. It just seems like a good price. For one, if it seems too good, you have to question that. For two, there's several ways to protect yourself. So, for example, this guy was selling a $350 Mike Trout, which is very low, number 2 of 5. If you get in contact and you're interested in buying this card from him, the first thing I would do before you even talk about the money is make sure you get multiple pictures of the card. And if the guy puts you off a couple days, then you don't want to deal with him. Because it's very obvious in the internet era that you can take pictures from other people and try to sell cards for a quick buck that you don't even have in your hand. This person could have taken this Mike Trout card from another Facebook forum and then put it on this other Facebook forum and is trying to sell it and basically just take a quick buck from you and then never ship the card. So ask for other angles. That's number one. Show me another angle. Show me the back. Show me this. Show me that. Like I had a guy that bought our LeBron James. He wanted 10 or 15 other pictures. That's pretty standard. I can take pictures for him right away because I have the card in hand. Secondly, obviously, and this is the biggest mistake, is do not send PayPal friends and family. You're screwed. You'll never get your money back. Always send goods and services. If the person doesn't want the PayPal fees, which is usually like 2 to 3%, if they don't want to cover that, you cover it. It's like insurance. So if they're like, it's $350 firm and I don't want to pay the PayPal fees, so you need to give me friends and family, send them $360. Yeah. That covers the fees. It's $10 for peace of mind on you getting the card. Because if you don't get the card and you did goods and services, you can file a claim. You'll get your money back.
And I can tell you right now, once you add that fee to it, if it is a scam, it'll be crickets. You will not hear from that person anymore because they're not looking for somebody who's going to do goods and services. They know that they don't have the card. You're never going to actually physically get the card. They don't have the card. So once you say goods and services, they will give you every excuse that they possibly can to get you to send friends and family. So I love that comeback of I will cover the fees.
Yeah, and it's almost like they make it seem like it's 30% or something. It's so minimal that if they don't want to take it, then you know right away that is a red flag that you need to move on and try to find that card somewhere else. So, and another thing is if you are shipping, and even if you do send goods and services, make sure if this person sends you goods and services and you're selling a card, so either vice versa, make sure you ship it to the address it's on PayPal because then PayPal will protect you. So if this guy's buying something from you and goes, hey, you know what? I don't want my wife to see my mail, so could you go ahead and ship that to this address? You could be screwed. He could get your card and get his money back. So be very aware of that aspect of it, that if you're going to ship somebody a card and they pay you, ship it to the address on file.
Yeah, like say if they're all, ship it to my work instead of the address that's on my PayPal. If you do that, you will not be covered.
Yeah, absolutely. And, vouchers is another thing. If you're starting to deal with a card, like you're trying to buy a Zion for $10K, at that point, maybe you need to say, who do you have vouchers? So that means that people that they've already sold stuff to. So they can go ahead and vouch for them. So, a lot of scammers can't come up with that. So that'll be another red flag. So do your due diligence and just make sure, do all these things. If you're doing, the main thing is if you're doing PayPal goods and services, that should be the only form of payment you deal with when you're buying and selling cards, because Venmo, Zelle, all that stuff, I don't think you'll be able to get your money back.
Cash App.
Am I wrong or am I right?
I think you're right.
I think you're right. Cash App seems to be a really, really popular one in the scam world. I think Cash App, it's gone. You'll never see it again. But I've seen a lot of people try to ask for Cash App when they're about ready to scam somebody.
Yep.
So that should actually be a red flag as well, is that the first thing they say is Cash App.
Yep. And another thing, I've even called people because, if it's a scammer, they're probably not going to want to put a voice on there. They're just behind the keyboard. They're trying to get a quick buck. They don't want to talk to somebody. They don't want anybody to have their phone number, right? And then at that point, you can also see their area code and see if it matches with where the card's coming from as well. So there's all these little things to protect yourself. If you really want the card and it's too good to be true, do a bunch of research before you give people these money, because there's more and more of these guys coming out every day. Anything else to add between the two?
Well, I mean, again, and also reiterating if the price is too good to be true, if you basically are buying a card where without a doubt you're going to be able to flip it on eBay for double of what you paid for it, it's a scam.
Yeah.
Because everybody in the card community, not everybody, 99% of them, there's still 1% out there that refuses to use eBay, but they use eBay, they have access to eBay, and they will flip the card themselves on eBay instead of selling it to you.
You're not going to leave that much money on the
half
table.
the price.
Exactly.
I mean, I could see getting a card for, and they call it comps, like comparable prices of sold listings on eBay. I can see getting a card for maybe 15, 20% less than what comps are, because if you take the PayPal fees and the shipping expense and the eBay fees, final value fees, listing fees, it kind of balances out to be about the same. But if you get to the point where somebody's offering you a card for $200 and then you go on eBay and there's like 10 of them that are sold for $1,000, you're getting scammed.
Yep. And go with your gut. A lot of times your gut is correct. I know we've been in this industry for 10 years, and ours was more a scamming on an end of maybe somebody got somebody's credit card, stuff like that. But we usually can sense it. We can usually see the buying pattern, and we're like, this doesn't make sense. Listen to your gut. I mean, if you're a big Nick Bosa collector like me and you're like, that's my dream card, and you're jaded by that, listen to your gut first, because it's not worth doing this, fighting this, losing your money, and giving the scammer more ammo to scam more people, right? So just listen to your gut a lot of times. Next one I want to talk about is group submissions, and this one was kind of new to me. I didn't even think about this one. So what's happening, especially because of the delay in group submissions in Beckett and PSA. Now, what I mean by submissions, group submissions, is it's one guy who's taking like 50 customers' cards. He gets a better rate with BGS or PSA. He sends in 300 cards, and he facilitates it for you as a customer, because maybe you only wanted one card. Well, this is what's happening. So let's just say you have a Luka and you give it to John, an 1819 Luka base. You give it to John, group submission. You've heard about him. You see him on Facebook and Twitter. He's grading cards. So this is what could happen. This is a real thing. When you're dealing with cards that aren't numbered, he could basically get back your card that's a PSA 10, and he could go out on eBay and buy a PSA 9, and look at the difference in value here. You're talking about an $865 card compared to a $220 card. So he just made $500. He said, oh, here's your card. It came back a 9. And you may be stoked. You're like, well, I didn't expect a 10. Thank you. And you're oblivious to it. The card's not numbered, so it could be very easily swapped out. Or maybe he submitted 3 Lukas with your 3 Lukas, and you don't know that because you're not seeing the paperwork of what he submitted in. And his came back a 9, and yours came back a 10. And he's like, well, I should get some more money for what I did. So he swaps you out. So I would only submit base cards yourself. If you're dealing with a numbered card, then obviously he can't replace your card, right? But non-numbered cards, I would never do group submissions because it's too easy to swap them out. Or maybe the guy's just unorganized and he has 5 Lukas from 5 different customers, and then he's like, oh crap.
How would you know the difference?
You wouldn't.
You would have no idea. So the person who's doing the submission is probably going to look at the ones that are 10s and go, well, those are mine, or those are my buddies.
Right.
And this is going to go to that guy. Like, there's no way to distinguish which one was which. This right here is hopefully something, for the sake of the industry, is not something that is common. I hope it isn't. But
you've heard rumblings about it, and maybe just disgruntled customers.
The way you just broke it down is so simple. It's so simple to do, especially with the value we're putting on base cards. Basketball base cards, Zion, Luka, Trae Young, LeBron James, that are not numbered. Even the silvers that are parallels are not numbered. I mean, and you could start getting even crazier with, I know some of the inserts are even like shorter print, but they're not numbered, but you can still get another one. Like, I mean, not to say that you would go out and buy another Color Blast, but you could. If you basically submitted a Zion Color Blast and one got a 10, and you found one on eBay that's a 9, well, you're just going to come up thousands of dollars.
Well, one thing that you can, and I'm not exactly sure if you can see it on the pop report, is, and that's another thing, just to protect yourself, when you get that card back from said group submission guy, if you do trust him, check the pop report on that number. There should be a date when it was graded. So if it doesn't correspond, with the date that you gave him the card, then obviously he bought it and then switched your card out.
That would be really difficult to do with
the delays.
The Lucas. There's so many of them. There's so many that are getting submitted. Same thing with the Zions, like the LeBrons, like the Color Blaster. Yeah, probably because there's only a handful of them, or like Galactics or stuff like that. There's not a ton of them coming in, but I mean they're probably seeing hundreds.
I think I want to say, because we have it later in the segment, I believe there's 17,000 graded Luka base.
So
that's plentiful.
And they could be seen. They're seeing more than one a week.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I can guarantee you that it could be 5 a week, 10 a week, 20 a week.
I have a question. How do these people who take big group submissions, how do they separate like different customers trying to grade the same base card?
That's what we're talking about. Like how would you do that?
Probably.
But how would you answer that? Like how do these guys answer the people, like the people that submit with them? What answer do you think they give them? Like if I go to a big group submitter, I'm like, hey,
you're not as a person who's using a submitter who's doing a group submission for you. Are you going to ask him, hey, is there other like Lucas that are?
You probably should.
You probably should. But he's probably going to be like, I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know.
The right thing to do, and this is just off the top of the dome, if I was a group submitter and somebody's like, I got 10 Luka base to submit, can I make it this time around? I'd be like, I already have a guy that submitted 5, so you're going to have to wait for the next submission.
Well, that would be
the right thing to do.
The right way to do it would be to turn somebody away if you already have somebody submitting that exact card.
Right.
Or because let's face it, these group submissions, the people who do it, they do it to get a better rate for themselves
as well. Yeah.
And they probably charge everybody a little bit more than what they're paying, so they're making money on it, which is fine. I'm not faulting them for that. And at the end of the day, they're probably saving enough money, making enough money to basically grade their own cards on that same rate that they're getting. Yep. So I would say most group submitters are there absolutely is a rake. They're absolutely making money. I don't know how much, but they absolutely are. But it would be a major concern, and they're not going to want to turn people away, but it would be a major concern for me if somebody sent in one customer sent in 5 Lucas, and then I had 3 Lucas that I wanted to submit. You might as well be like, and worse yet, like what if the submitter themselves have Lucas that they're submitting? I could guarantee you when they come back and there's like 3 9s, the submitter isn't going to take those 9s.
Right.
That the group rate or the group submitter is going to absolutely take the 10s and going to distribute the 9s.
Or if you're a guy that's new and you submitted 1, and then you have the guy has a large customer that submits 200 a month, and you're probably going to want to, it's human nature for that person to try to take care of their larger customer, right? So that's the problem. And so stay away from, base cards and group submitting. I'm not saying there's probably most of these guys are on the up and up. I'm not accusing the whole group submission industry of this, but you could see how easy it is to do. So just be very aware when you're doing that. Now, if you're going to submit a blue Luka, number to 199 or whatever, or number to 99, whatever they're number to, then you obviously know that's number 52 out of 99. There's no foolery
that can't be switched. Yeah, I mean, and this really does break down to non-numbered cards. Numbered cards, by all means, go for it, because there's no way. I mean, you got a stamp right on the back that tells you exactly what card it is.
Yep. And then we've got buying autos on cards. I didn't know how to really correctly to put that on there, but I'm talking more about the in-person autos that you see that people fall victim for all the time. I'm talking about a base card, as you can see in the slide, the Michael Jordan, the Kobe Bryant. So these are cards that did not come out of a pack signed. They came out as a base card, and then somebody supposedly met Michael Jordan somewhere and had him sign this. Well,
bro, that right one, bro.
That Kobe, I know that
ticks
is terrible,
me out, bro.
Well, and
that's his old signature.
Yeah, exactly. And it's $300 or best offer on the Kobe.
Bro.
Yeah. So that is actually, I didn't even see that. That is blatantly bad. So it's Kobe's old auto on a newer card. So duh. So this guy has been practicing the wrong auto. So that just shows you that most criminals are not very smart. That's why they're criminals. So don't fall victim to this. And tell your friends and family if they're buying you a card for your birthday or your, anniversary or whatever. Only buy pack pulled like Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, Leaf maybe. I mean, those are the main ones. Don't buy these because they seem like a good deal. Yeah, Kobe's auto sells for $1,000. Wow, I can get one for $300. What's the difference? Well, this is some dude in his basement practicing Kobe's auto for a couple weeks at a time.
Practicing his old one.
Maybe not even a couple weeks. That might have been the first go at it. And then they're selling it for $300 when they bought that base card for, I don't know, $1. So that's, $298 in profit. I mean, you're seeing it with, look at the Mike Trout, $70. Look at the Tom Brady. It's terrible. That's not even Tom Brady's autograph. $500. That's greed. That is criminal greed right there. A Tom Brady Bowman 2008 for $500. And that is nowhere close to any of Tom Brady's autographs. So just, like I said, this should go. A lot of people are saying you shouldn't even have to say this. Well,
There's people that buy these.
There's people that buy these.
1,000%.
You can see the sold listings, and all you can do is just feel bad for these people that they kind of fell victim to this. I mean, anything to add to this topic here?
No.
Yeah, I want to say to that person that did the Kobe auto, I want to smack you in the face.
I don't. I mean, I understand how people get duped on it. Look at the title. Look, the title is basically tells you exactly what you want it to say.
Kobe Bryant auto.
It's very easy to convince yourself if something's such a good deal that it has to be legit. So yeah, just stay away from it. I mean, I don't know how to see. It's difficult though. I mean, we know because we look at cards. We see autographed cards that are pack pulled every single day. A lot of people out there don't. So they don't know what a pack pulled autograph would look like. So I could see why that would be confusing.
Well, here's the thing too. This is one way you can protect yourself. Join some of these good Facebook groups. Go on the Blowout forum. Join our community. Either fans of Mojobreak, or you can jump in on a live feed or hit us up on Twitter. At any point you're thinking about buying one of these, just ask. I bet you 99% of all the people that are in this hobby will tell you right away, hey, don't buy that. That is fake. That is absolutely fake. So last topic I wanted to talk about is reprints and fakes. There's a lot of things going on eBay, and there's some just really just scummy people. So as you can see here, this is actually one of the most faked cards that I come across, and it's the 2017 Contenders Patrick Mahomes. The Optic Contenders, even more so. I don't know why they chose to do that. But as you can see on the left here, the Patrick Mahomes Contenders rookie card, cracked ice auto for $25. That is a $75,000 card, I think, off the top of my dome. It's a very, very, very expensive card. This person's selling it for $74.99. But what they do that's so scummy, and I hate this, is they put RP in the title, which RP could mean anything. It could be right-handed pitcher. It could mean, the guy's name could have those initials. This card set could have it. So instead of putting reprints, the first thing should say reprint. They want to fool you. They want you to click on this and buy it thinking that you're getting the steal of the century, when in terms this card probably costed 50 cents to make. And then what's even scummier, as you can see on the right side, is they're doing it as an auction. I have no problem with people selling reprints. You're obviously in violation of the league trademarks, but sell it for like $4, $2.99 or $3.99.
Well, the cracked ice one is it's a sponsored listing.
Yeah.
So I mean that means that seller is doing some pretty substantial volume.
Yep.
With eBay.
Yep. Well, no, anybody can sponsor, but you have to pay.
But you have to pay. But usually, unless you're generating a fair amount of income on what you're doing, you're not going to sponsor and pay for your listings to show up.
Exactly.
So like, you're not going to be like, man, I never sell any of these. I'm just going to throw a bunch of money behind it.
So that's even more scummy, is the fact that this person's paying to have more eyeballs look at this, so they can sell them a fake card.
And that basically tells me that a lot of people are getting duped and a lot of people are buying them.
And then you even see what happens too is somebody buys this for $74.99, and then they for whatever reason, you should be able to return it, but they're not, and then they auction it because they're like, well, let me see what happens. It turns them into a scammer because they're like, well, it kind of looks real. Let me throw it up as an auction, and then they do what this guy did on the right with the shadow box, which is it's got 2 days left. You can't tell me that people the 8 bids on this that all 8 bidders think it's fake. They probably think it's real, so they're throwing the bid in there because it looks pretty dang real.
I'll tell you another thing that is really tough, because if you're like me, I do a lot of my eBay, looking and buying on my phone. And when on my app, when I'm going through, a lot of times when I see the picture of the card, I don't see the full listing of it until I click on it.
Yeah.
So I look at
exactly.
it.
You don't even see the RP on there.
So you don't even see. So they always put RP at the end. So if you're on the mobile app, you won't even see it when you're like looking at the card itself.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another thing. And it's not a coincidence that they don't put the RP in the front of the title. They know that, so they put it at the end of the title, so you will not notice it.
Yeah, absolutely. So. And then you could even see what I did last. There's Aaron Judge for $56 with the RP. Obviously, whoever bid on that.
I bought an Aaron Judge.
Yeah, we bought one on accident.
I bought an Aaron Judge on my app, and I was like,
wasn't it like $1,800?
And it was at an auction, and it was up to like, we were doing a buyback, and it was up to like $1,500, and I pepper in bids here and there to see what happens, and I won it for like $1,800. And didn't even see the RP on my phone, and went to go pay for it. Actually paid for it on my phone, and looked at it the next day, and I was like, whoa, this is a reprint. Sent the guy a message, and I'm like, this is a reprint. I'm not spending $1,800 on a reprint of this card when I basically just paid what this card would be worth if it wasn't a reprint.
Well, then he said, well,
he's like, it's kind of your fault for not reading the description.
Well, then he said, well, this card sells for $10,000. You think you'd win it for $1,800? And it's like,
no, that was the Kevin Durant.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, but it's like, how do you know we didn't put a top bid at $10,000?
No, that was LeBron James. It was a LeBron James SP Authentic.
That's right, for like $400.
It was a LeBron James SP Authentic. The one I'm talking about is. It was a Aaron Judge 2013 Bowman, and the guy basically got mad at me for not reading his description where he did actually put it was a reprint. I don't remember if he actually put RP in the title, but he did say it was a reprint in the description. I don't know about you guys. Everybody uses these generic copy and paste for their descriptions. I don't even read them. I will read the title. I'll read the subtitle. I don't read the description.
If you're selling reprints, which you shouldn't, but if you're selling reprints, you should, 1, never do them at auction because that's scummy. For 2, you should spell reprint. There's enough characters on the eBay description.
Look at that one right there. Look how many characters were left.
Right. He put it at the end.
He put RP.
And then same thing with the Mahomes.
But he could have.
But he had a lot more.
He had a lot. I mean, he could have put reprint. He could have put it like 8 times.
Like, how does that make you feel? Like, I'm going to come over on somebody. I'm going to come up on this card I either made or I paid $2 for. I'm going to come up because nobody's going to know until they pay for it. It's too late. Well, dude, how do you go about your life that way?
And what does happen is somebody can unknowingly buy that card, thinking it is legit, not knowing it's a reprint, truly not knowing it's a reprint, especially if they pay close to market value, like the Aaron Judge that I bought. I paid close to market value. There's no reason why I would think because it went for that price that it would be not legit.
Right.
So I get it, and let's say I end up selling it to somebody else. Well, that person, I'm going to sell it for either close to what I bought it for or maybe even more. Then I sell it to them. And then they have it. They bought it for market value. It goes through multiple hands. Nobody is going to think that it is actually a reprint.
Yeah.
Until you basically submit it to BGS or PSA. But PSA, you don't know.
You don't know.
You don't know.
As we said in the last podcast, check that one out.
You don't know.
Check that one out and possibly win a box of Topps Chrome. Plug. And then lastly, these ones have been floating around a lot. I don't know who's behind this company, but obviously there's multiple violations. It's the iconic ink, and they do every single hot player. So you can see they've used the full Chiefs logo on the Patrick Mahomes card, the Mike Trout full logo, everything. Now, these are the right prices, I guess, but why would you buy these, right? $4.90 for a rare Mahomes card, or $3.45.
Didn't Panini come out and didn't this get squashed?
Apparently not. All you got to do is look on eBay. There's a million of them, and there's multiple sellers, so that you have to. I think Panini has to go after the source. Well, it's like one of those things that you don't know where the source is. It's like, open network, or somebody's printing them and they distributing them.
They don't have any value. I guess they have the value of whatever you paid for it, but they don't have any collector's value.
Yeah, Joe asked in the chat, I know it's custom listed, but my question is, do these really have any true value? And it's worth the cardboard that it's printed on, basically. And I don't see anything wrong if you're like making a collage and you don't have, $7,000 for a Mahomes card, and you want to just buy one for $3 or $4. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. But doing it as a auction and trying to pull the wool over collectors' eyes, putting RP, which could be similar to SP, maybe some people don't even see it. Yep. You're doing it, shadily. And what do you have to say about the scammers, C-Rad, that are doing these with the RPs and the fake cards?
The only one that really got me hot was the Kobe one, honestly. But yeah, like I feel bad for the people that are actually like ended up buying these that think they're buying like actual autographs. So
yeah, it's sad.
It's whack.
Well, that design right there, it's not a terrible looking card design.
No, it's
I got to give them a little bit of credit. I mean, I've seen worse card designs
from manufacturers.
Yes,
absolutely.
straight off the press.